All right, that was not the smoothest transition, but that's okay. So Chase Elliott done won this thing. Kind of saw that late in the race. Like I kind of felt like Chase had it. It looked like his race. He was quick. That's all there really is to say. But got to watch a truck race the other night. The host of our win. That was a good race, a lot of fun. I did not get to catch the O'Reilly race yesterday. Not a single lap of it. I do know the results, so we'll let Dale talk about that. / Minnow Johnson 03 when he gets back here in just a minute. But from what I hear, it was a really good race. I did watch the highlight video there at the end. Allgaier, Cruz, Larson sliding all over the place, passing that. That was good shit. Move this damn microphone. Oh yeah. So what happened? My favorite thing that happened was Joey Logano on pit road just smacking the hell out of, I don't remember who he hit. Who was it he hit? There's Dale. Oh, you're bald now? You did? Did you do it yourself? Hell yeah.
We had...
So Dale, everything you had just said was, you got to re-say it because the source was off.
Oh, I'm bald. So
You're bald.
Anyway, so nothing else was said there. Let me get some things closed down.
Well, you did say that one thing about, never mind. We can't talk about that.
Yeah, doctors, they HIPAA.
Yeah.
Trying to get all my shit wrapped up and rattled out. For anybody that is watching, I don't know if there's anybody watching yet, but if they are, I stream these fucking races.
He does. Hey, you're a mod.
Every one of them.
Oh, well, you're probably on Minnow Johnson 03. Minnow Johnson 03 is not a mod,
yeah.
so let me just do this.
And to boot, if you want to get massively cucked by the finish of the race, watch my shit because it crashed with like 3 to go. It completely froze the fuck up. That's terrible. Very bad. Anyways.
That is pretty bad, actually. That sucks. That actually really sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
You know, the finish wasn't that good. They didn't miss much.
Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. So,
yeah.
The race overall was extremely boring.
It really was. It was.
It was. The thing about it is Texas is slippery. Texas is treacherous, and what we saw today it wasn't treacherous for everybody. It was very hit or miss on who was going to be a victim or not.
Well, it seemed like everybody struggled at some point in the race. It was at what point did you struggle?
I would say every Ford and Chevrolet struggled at some point.
There is that.
We had guys like Blaney in the back. We had guys like Larson that just struggled all day and bounced the shit off the wall. Called that, by the way. Logano, which Logano wasn't good, and then he bounced his shit off of Cole Custer, which was
popped in. That's what I was talking about. It was Cole Custer. I was trying to remember who was he hit. Yeah, that was
Cole
my favorite
Custer,
part of the race.
I'll mark that off my fucking notes list here. We'll just fucking etch that out. But he but nonetheless, guys that like them or hate them, they are great.
If they're on that track, they're really good. When we say somebody sucks ass, it's in comparison to the field.
It's relative. It's relative. That's no different than, what's that fucking stupid? I'm going to go ahead and...
Except for Daniel Suarez.
Chad Fincham, except for Chad Fincham.
Yeah. Suarez improved.
Did anybody see how Chad Fincham did? And how far he was behind the rest of the pack when he finished last?
I don't even know how many laps down he finished. But I do remember very, very early in the race watching him look like he was driving through a school zone.
Did he get to ride? Did he get to drive in the Dega race in the Cup?
He was there, wasn't he?
No. I think he was.
He was.
So we'll go ahead and put a little plus on my notes here.
I think I know where this is going.
Chad Fincham got to race in the Cup Dega race, but Cletus didn't make the O'Reilly's Dega race. That's a little.
What's Chad Fincham's deal? I don't know a whole lot about this dude.
Nobody does. He just shows up like the only time, like they don't even acknowledge him. Other than when he gets black flagged, the only time I know that he's racing is when I go to bet on the race, and his name is there at like plus 300,000. It's the only time I even know he's racing.
Like, okay, I might put $1 on it.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't you? $1 and this motherfucker happens to pull a miracle win, you get $3,000. Like, absolutely.
Yeah. But I literally, I mean, I'd heard the name, but that's all. I don't know anything about the guy.
Let's look up. So Chad Fincham, he is part-time for Garage 66. Has he done anything ever? Let's figure that out.
Yeah, is he a street stock guy? Is he a dirt guy? He's shining something. And they're like, hey.
He's ran 14 races in Cup Series, 117 races. Oh my God, this is terrible. 117 races over 9 years in the O'Reilly Series, and then he has ran 17 races in the ARCA Series. 0 wins, 0 top 10, 0 poles in the Cup.
And
0 wins, 0 top 10, 0 poles.
Dega last week.
Yep. And then we'll have to figure this one out. But he has won at Bristol in the 2016 Pit Light 125 in the ARCA Series with 5 top 10s.
So he has 1 win in ARCA at Bristol. Yeah,
and his last race was in 2017. So basically a decade of no ARCA. He's still running. Oh yeah, yep.
So he got like naked pictures of one of the Frances or something, maybe?
There's something that doesn't make sense here, because you got a guy that never did anything in the O'Reilly series, according to Wikipedia, never raced in the truck series. Maybe he did, and it's just not shown here. But then gets to run a cup ride. I don't understand.
It doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, it really doesn't.
Especially when you got the known wheelman Cletus out here that said no. And we've talked about it probably 5 times on this show now. We both agreed Cletus should not have been in that car at Talladega for O'Reilly until after the ARCA race. Like, okay, maybe he should have.
I said he was not ready and stand on that. Well, let me back up. I stand on my comment of the time. I did not see what I need to see for him to run the O'Reilly series.
Right. Exactly.
That being said, after the ARCA race, 1000% he was ready to run a truck Dega race.
Yep. Well, they don't run trucks at Dega, but yeah.
I say that,
I hear what you're saying.
Scaling the talent level there, if we're going to put it in tiers.
Yeah. It made me think about trucks at Dega. That would be a lot of fun to watch.
Trucks at Dega would be fucking sick. But what I'm getting at is that he is 1000% ready for that discipline at a super speedway. We'll just put a super speedway. But then I would give him 60 to 70% confidence in the O'Reilly series. I'm going to give it higher than that. I'm going to say 90%. And here's the reason why, is that you've got to give him credit that he kind of drives within his lane. He's not this guy that goes out there that is unfit and ships his shit off into the corner when he shouldn't. He's had some accidents. I'll admit that. He's had some shortcomings. He showed a lack of talent, but nonetheless, anytime he's not been competitive, he's either A, gotten the fuck out of the way, or B, he's fucked up and at least he's
wrecked anybody else yet?
Nice hairball guy.
Has he wrecked anybody? Has he wrecked anybody else yet other than himself?
I No, I think he's
wrecked himself every time that I can recall.
he got collected up with that one girl, but I think it was the girl's fault.
Yeah, the
The
last season. Yeah. I'd say anything that was his fault.
No, I don't think he's caused any massive. Well, no. The restart.
Oh yeah, there was that. That was just fun though.
Yeah, but we
got Joey
graduated from that.
running dudes over on pit lane. 3-time champion Joey Logano in the Cup Series, just absolutely smacking. I get it, you know.
You've got to be competitive, but never check the brakes and cracked fucking Cole Custer.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, like, that's part of it. It happens, but there has to be a deal here where we can't pretend everybody's perfect. So if we're going to excuse a champion's fuck up, we've also got to at least acknowledge that there was a fuck up and correction from somebody like Cletus at the lower tier. Speaking of pit lane issues, which one do you want to
talk about? There were so many.
Oh, I'm going to go Blaney versus Jones.
Okay.
How do you handle that? So we'll say you're midway. Now, granted, obviously, I fucking didn't see the end of the race. I don't know who finished where. Shout out to fucking my shit crashing, but you're midway through the race. You're moving forward. You've got a fast car. You've got a guy like Eric Jones, which let's just call it for what it is. It's not your tier. We're saying you as in Blaney.
Yeah.
He's not your tier of driver.
Yeah. Blaney's an S-tier NASCAR driver, and Jones is
C-.
Yeah, C. I was going to say C. Yeah, I was going to say C.
C-. He falls. He's one or two bad fuck ups from being another Cody Ware.
Yeah,
okay. I mean, in my opinion. So, with that being said, knowing that you've got a guy in front of you, that it's not just a matter of the pits being tight. I get it, they're tight, but there's 40 fucking pits. And you have multiple issues with one guy that can't fully pit, leaves the ass end of his car hanging out, and is constantly blocking you off on these pit cycles. What do you do to handle that?
If I'm Ryan Blaney, I got. If you're Ryan Blaney, you got options. One would be on the track. You rough him up a little bit, put him in the wall. Maybe you don't even fully wreck him. You just say, "Hey, fuck you," you know.
But that doesn't solve anything. He's still going to be there, especially if you damage his car. If he's still on track and you damage his car, he's going to be there every pit cycle trying to fix it.
Well, what Blaney needs to do is, like right now, post race, they're all walking around on pit road. He needs to just walk his wife right past him and stroke his mustache.
Well, you can't do that mid race. So here's what I'm getting towards. With Blaney getting essentially caught blocked by Jones every pit stall, at that point, does that justify putting him out of the race? I know that's a crazy thing to say, and in reality, most people are going to say no.
I don't hear it crazy. I think you can do less, because I like to watch these dudes fight on the track. So
you say less though, but if you rough his car up and damage it, he's gonna be in front of you, and now he's incentivized to block you, and he's gotten away with it so far. So you really just make things worse for yourself if you don't put him out of the race.
Okay.
I'm not saying that that's the move.
Oh, hold on.
So bring me through the weekend and the day for your team.
Yeah, it was fun.
Bill Carson, host of our interview on Aaron.
Everybody at Spire, between the 7, myself,
put some audio on that
Spectrum to get them a good run and
finally finish.
So,
it
was great for us, honestly. We led a lot of laps, ran up front, finished second in stage 1, put ourselves at a good spot to start stage 2, and then got that caution, and then just put us, behind the 8 ball, had to restart in the 20s, and we made an adjustment. And we probably shouldn't have, because, the adjustment would have been perfectly no adjustment if the 20 cars were just in front of me. That made the adjustment alone. So I was just tight all day, and we kept working on it a little bit, and then just had to inch at it one at a time. And it's just tough to pass here for sure. And but yeah, just fun to run good after, especially last week and everything, and put ourselves 6 in points. That's really strong for us.
7th place finish for Carson Hocevar here.
All right. I had to hear what Hocevar had to say. He went back and said some other shit. Oh, and then they went to Chase Elliott.
Of course.
Anyways, Hocevar, I mean, I saw, he started pole. I never really felt like this was a race for him. Even after I saw pole, I was like, yeah,
I wanted it to be, but it just wasn't.
Yeah. It was going to be a Hendrick 2311 type of race. Throw some Penske in. It's one of those.
It was a Hendrick Penske JGR race. 2311 one, even in, except for Reddick's cheat up shit, wasn't even in the competition. Where did Bubba? Did he end up doing well?
Does he ever?
My point.
Oh, Bubba. Yeah, I guess he spun his shit yesterday and he was on a backup car all day.
Yeah, just stayed in the back.
Yeah. Overall cup race, other than Joey Logano being a dumbass on pit road, which he got pulled out in front of, or he got stopped in front of, so it was 100% his fault, but he never tapped the brakes. And that's a 3-time champion. That was the most entertaining part.
He got caught staring at his tack, is what it was.
Yeah, watching that speed.
Yeah. And doing that and not having any desire to float up into the pace of traffic above him, which is where he needs to be exiting pit road. When you're very clear your pit stall, you go to the outside, you only drop down when you are going to pit, and then vice versa on the exit. Once you pit, you get up to that lane as quickly as you can. Now, he had somebody close to his outside, but he should have been, looking to get over, and I think he was clear to get over. But instead of that, he was focused on maximizing speed and did not care to stay in that lower lane, and it cost him the race. So
yeah, cost him a whole ass car. That's the cup race. So we both we'll set back down. So we watched the truck race together the other night, and that race was a lot of fun. And Hocevar won. That was cool as hell.
Yeah. Truck race and O'Reilly's race both shit on the cup race.
So I didn't get to watch a single lap of the O'Reilly race. So tell us about it.
So we had a bunch of people in contention, but what it really came down to is you had Allgaier, Zilich, Larson, and Brent Cruz that were your top 4 players in the game, and each of them were about it and likely close to equal speeds. Allgaier had an edge over him, but Allgaier, let's just call it for what it is, doesn't have quite the racecraft that even Zilich has. And based on Brent Cruz's drive, I would even put him up there in that mix, and definitely not, Larson being Larson. Really just didn't put him in terms of like out town about getting the car around the track, but how to actually race a competitor. So we had probably the last 50 laps were just a lot of fun to watch. 3 wide off the corner, guys really throwing, I wouldn't call it sliders at this track, but I would call it just throwing it in there, trying to stick it, trying to pack air on people, trying to take air off of people, all the good kind of classic shit you like to watch with NASCAR in its current format. And it was a good time. It was. We got to see Larson put on a masterclass of defense in those last 10 laps with Allgaier. Allgaier had a way better car. Larson just knew. Yeah, Larson knew how to. Larson knew how to keep him behind him. Essentially, he was doing some stuff that I felt like I picked up on pretty early, which was entering high to take the air off of Allgaier on entry. You take the air off him on entry, he's going to push. That's going to kill his whole run through the corner. He was doing that, and then through the corner was diving down, shortcutting the corner, and floating back up. So when Allgaier thought he was making his momentum back, Larson would float up, take the air from him again, and ruin some of his exit. So really put it on him there. It was a good race. Way better than what we saw today. What we saw today was extremely fucking boring. Honestly, NASCAR should be really disappointed with what they're putting on at the Cup level right now.
I was about to say that seems to be the trend of the Cup races. We did get a little bit of a spectacle last week. It was an outlier though. But typically, these Cup races over the last 3 years, they've just not stacked up to what the lower series are putting on the track.
Yep.
And people sleep on that. People are sleeping on the lower series, and they shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, what you have with this current car too is you do have these crazy pit cycles where guys can just stay out, and people will think this is a good idea, but you have these pit cycles where guys like Corey Heim and guys like Suarez. There were a few others up there in the mix. Chastain at one point, Chastain just, honestly, if we just call it what it is, he struggled all day.
But they can just go
really. They can just not pit, and then suddenly they're in the top 10. But because of the way the cars are put together, there's not enough of a discrepancy there with worn equipment to affect them enough. Air plays such a big factor in it that the air deficit overcomes the equipment, meaning tire wear and stuff like that. So these guys can just not pit and stay out in front, and that's just not good. If the equipment was a lot more even, the lack of pitting would be a lot more obvious, because what you're allowing people to do is leapfrog and collect stage points, and that's ugly, right? Because those points play a factor to the end. If we left these races green, let's call it for what it is, we would have a Denny, it would be a Hamlin, Blaney, Logano, Larson show. But you could argue, with reality being reality, that they don't want that. You've got two winners for the last 4 of the 5 years. They want to see a fresh winner, so they're really pushing for that, and they're trying to tailor things so that there can be a new winner, whether that be Denny or Reddick. Or Bell. That's what they're.
I'm wondering. We've got the new CEO. And he said he's vowing to make NASCAR fun again. And I'm really wondering how. He can't do a whole lot this season. This stuff's planned so far ahead of time. But I'm really curious. After the host of our celebration, which we went right on here and said, "Oh yeah, dude, that's going to be a fine and a ban." Not for him, but you can't do it again. And they come out and say, no fine, no ban. Literally. No fine, period. No ban, period. Just Carson doing what Carson does.
They knew that they were being held accountable with that as well. Yep. They knew that if they decided to pull that move, people would be pissed.
But it's the same weekend where kind of the leadership, the king of the sport, the guy that runs it all, that changed hands that weekend. That was his first race as the CEO of the organization. And then he goes on the post-race show and talks about how much he loved what Carson did. And then they come out and they say, hey, no fine, no ban. I just hope that that's a sign of what's to come.
If they want to, the thing about it is they're worried about, let's call it for what it is. They're worried about backtracking these cars or revamping these cars and costing these teams tens of millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
They know they've got to change these cars. These cars are boring as fuck to watch. I like the cars being tough. I don't hate the idea of an IRS rear end. I don't hate the idea of a sequential transmission. We've only got 2 issues that really skew the talent deficit, talent spread, rather. Thank you. The talent spread amongst the guys that really find themselves places they shouldn't be. And really, it's more dangerous because these guys cause cautions. Letting guys out front, they really shouldn't be out front, causes cautions. And then the lack of drivability in the cars. There's only two things you have to fix to solve both those issues. We can keep a unilug.
And they're
I don't
underpowered.
mind. That too. I don't mind. But so we'll make it 3. You need to make 3 changes. Get rid of the stages.
So say, we've talked about it. Ed. I like the idea that the stages is for the point of restacking the field. I do love that part. That's the only thing I like about stages.
Thing about it is fields were getting restacked prior to stages.
It's true. It's true.
But they were getting restacked prior to stages. But what you didn't have were guys like your Eric Joneses, as much as I hate to say it, we'll use examples kind of like Cody Ware's, Johnny Hunter Nemechek's, Suarez, even though he qualified good this weekend. So I'm really generalizing that. I'm not saying just today, but these guys landing themselves in the top 7, behind them being a bunch of guys that actually pit to take tires and then wrecking the field when they can't keep a hold of their car. There were still cautions back then, but these guys were already all a lap down. They were already nearing the end of their fuel cycle, so they had to pit. It kept them in check. They're going to be fucking wrecks, especially if you don't have stages, because you're not going to have guys, these guys are planning their pit stops before they ever get to the track because they know when they have chances to pit. They know, hey, listen, we only have to run 50 laps where we're guaranteed a caution. So let's just go, split it down the middle 25. So we get rid of stages. We're not going to not have a field where it's restacked. They're going to fucking wreck. But we're going to let the guys, your Hamlins, Blaney's, Logano's, Larson's, and really, if Hosvar keeps doing what he's doing, Hocevar, get up front.
Hocevar had a decent points today. He did today. And he was already, I think, 8th. Maybe 8th. That sounds right.
We're going to let these guys get up front and have a good time. The next thing we can do that prevents these stupid fucking wrecks we see, Bubba's wreck being an example, Larson's wreck today being an example, the wreck that put Kyle Busch out of NASCAR being an example, the sheer rate of these fucking tires is entirely too fucking high. They're super wide, super low sidewall. So what you have is with the car, when it's hooked up, golly, it's fucking sucked to the ground. There's nothing you can do about it. That car is gonna fucking turn. But the second we cross that line, it's like a cliff edge. So traction goes from I've got it to suddenly I don't. If we give them some bead roll, we give them a little more tire, what we're going to get is a little more of a cushion in that loss of traction. You'll feel it. You'll feel the tire start to roll over like, hey, I'm getting up on the edge. I'm here. You'll get a little slip, but there's going to be enough give in the tire to allow it to be okay. So we do those 2 things. That's going to help a bunch. You said talking about adding horsepower. I agree with that as well. That's going to put a big balancing factor in it too, as tires begin to wear. These guys come up off the corner. When they hurt their tires, they're going to know it immediately. So we've got to do something to help that. You could do those 3 things and not cost these smaller teams a fuckload of money. We can keep the chassis. We can keep everything about the suspension. We can keep the physical hardware in the engine. We can keep the transmission. We can keep all these things. We get rid of stages, which has nothing to do with the cars. We can get rid of these wheels, which are really not that expensive in the grand scheme of things. And we can add some horsepower, which is just easy.
You going back down to 15s with some sidewall on them?
Yeah, I don't think we need brakes this big, and I think we get better racing if we have a slightly smaller brake.
Okay, I agree. I like it.
Right now we got guys fucking downshifting and fucking. They're still somehow managing to boil the fluid in these big ass calipers. It's like, make these guys get creative with how they get around the track. It would be fun. Where we're going to use the horsepower really doesn't even matter for that, because we're going to use the horsepower at these 1.5 miles where they're really not cooking brakes anyways. Right. So it'd be fine. It would be perfectly okay. But they'll chalk it up to safety deal. I don't really know what the reason is. I imagine they're keeping the horsepower down, so these lower tier drivers, these average 25th finishing drivers, can be a little more relevant. Less power, less talent involved to be quick.
Right.
Versus if we gave them 1,000, you'd have your Denny's, your Blenny's, your Luganos, etc., your Larsons. They know how to tame the power, know how to get the car set straight off the corner, and they would just fucking walk the dog on these guys. So small changes make a big difference.
Yeah, that's the thing. You make the changes one at a time. Little progress here and there. That gives the fans something. It also gives the drivers a little bit of time to learn. These dudes if they're on that track, they're talented. They can figure it out.
Yeah, for
some
sure.
faster than others.
Yep. Well, that's what we saw when we went to the next gen car in general, and that kind of comes to I've got 3 notes left, but one of them's Busch's progress. Busch did really well at the birth of the next gen because everybody was on an even playing field. He had a really good season that year.
Go on about Busch's progress. I'm gonna piss real quick.
Yeah,
because I've been drinking beer, but yeah, tell us about it. I will be able to hear.
Yeah. So I have no fucking clue where Busch finished, courtesy of my shit crashing right as the end of the race come up. So hopefully and you can tell me when you get back. But all day we had a driver that has been like an average, probably fucking 22nd finisher, like an absolute dog shit driver, a Riley Herbst level driver. Come out and run top 10 all day, up in the top 5 at some points. I mean, he was doing really, 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 really well. So, obviously there were some more changes at RCR with him. And now we're kind of in the situation of, did that make the difference? Was it kind of a miracle thing where he happened to have a good race, or are we going to see kind of a trend here where he starts to do better more consistently? And if so, do we see him getting their program kind of in shape to where he can potentially eke out a win? And if so, what does that mean? Because we've all kind of preached that he's on his way out. He's in his exit program, not only for NASCAR, but definitely for RCR. I think he's got more life in NASCAR than he does in RCR at the moment. Does some success here kind of change that? Is this going to be consistent success, or is this kind of a one-time miracle deal? That's kind of where I'm at. We'll mark that one out. I've got 2 more goofy ones when he gets back, but I do want to hear his opinion on that when he gets back. If he gets back, he might have fell in the toilet at this point.
I did not fall in the toilet. I did not. I'm back. We've talked about it. I do, man. I think there's a lot of RCR issues, but I think on the other hand, I do think Kyle Busch is washed at this point. I think he's just old at this point, and he's just not as quick as he used to be mentally and even physically, and
I would say that if I didn't see him, I would say that if we didn't see him in truck equipment with other top tier cup drivers, and he's out there just ripping with them like it's no problem.
Yeah, I mean, that's a hard argument. It's hard to argue against that.
He's winning truck races against. I mean, he won one, I believe, against Bell and Larson. He won one against Chastain. He's won these races against these guys. He won one against Hocevar, who just got his first win, who we're talking about being super, an upcoming talent now. And that was recent. I don't think he's fading out. I think he's in shit equipment, and I'll be honest with you, let's call it for what it is. I think he's a kind of a fucking crybaby. And when he gets his feelings hurt, I think it reflects in his effort and motivation. And I think that shows in his results. I don't think he's lost the edge, unless that's just as consequence of not being up there in the world of the top 5 where he was so used to being.
Yeah. You said you had some more points. What'd you have next?
Ooh, I got one. I'm gonna note the stupidest thing, the dumbest thing that I hear in fucking NASCAR, which is bioethanol. I'm saying it. That is the dumbest fucking statement.
We've talked about this. It's very stupid.
It's very stupid. That would, it is bioethanol. I agree. the Dasani or the Aquafina I drink in the mornings is also bio water.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know what other ethanol is bioethanol?
Do what?
So out of all the ethanols, you know which other ethanols would be bioethanol?
Fucking liquor.
All of them.
Yeah, literally all of them. So it's silly to me. The grass I mow is biograss. The dirt I walk on is bio dirt. The air I breathe is bio air. All ethanol, by consequence of how it is made, is bioethanol. I think it's a pet peeve. I agree. They're just trying to show that they're not out here burning petroleum for some fucking hair lip hippie out there that's upset about it.
Now it's zero carbon bioethanol. You picked up on that? It was just bioethanol. Now it's zero carbon bioethanol.
Which means it's 100% ethanol, which is fine. It's incredible. But like so to kind of get you up to speed, ethanol, even with 15% petroleum in it, which would make it, carbon ethanol per se, is like 105 octane. 100% ethanol is like 110, 115 octane. It's a great fuel. There's like, hell yeah, brother. Like, I'm all about it. But going out of your way to call it bioethanol, it's just silly to me. You know what I mean? Like they're filling it up with bioethanol fuel and rubber tires. Like, no fucking shit.
Yeah.
It just sounds stupid to me. All right, they're putting, well, no, there's not really another great example of that because there are supplementable metals to other things, but nonetheless, rubber tires is the best example I have. They're putting metal lug nuts on it, like as opposed to what? Fucking wood? It's a silly statement. Bioethanol. If they just call it ethanol, great. If someone's uneducated enough to not understand that is a renewable resource, that's on them. They're an idiot for it. And it's not my problem. NASCAR is kind of virtue signaling on that one, in my opinion.
Well, I can go on a whole other tangent that ain't racing related on why the ethanol thing is a thing. It has to do with how the United States government props up corn because it's high yield, easy to grow for Midwestern farmers, and they subsidize the shit out of that. Blah blah blah. I can go into the whole corn thing, which is ethanol.
And then
that's not what we're here for.
Then the second farmers started prioritizing it. They started outsourcing it from other countries. I won't get into that because once again, we could go down the deep, dark conspiracy rabbit hole, and I just don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, why is Mexico in the shape it is right now? And then, here we go. Never mind. What was your next point?
My last point, and the last thing I feel like talking about is we have a bit of a sponsor battle, right? So we have sponsor battles all across I say all across the board. We used to have sponsor battles all across the board. We don't have many today. Meaning,
we had the cigarette companies. We had the beer companies. We had the oil. We don't even really have the oil anymore.
We don't see that anymore. We see people like Ally and build submarines and all this other bullshit where it's like, well, they're a sponsor, but it's not like which of those sponsors drivers are better. It's just like, you're not going to go to the store and go, well, I'm not going to buy that detergent because this guy drives for, you know what I mean? You don't have those sponsor battles, but we do have one. And I have an idea for who to prove is better.
Let's hear it.
So we have Mr. Suarez. Do you know who he drives for or drove for today?
Today, that was the insurance, freeway insurance, free choice insurance, some shit like that.
Insurance.
Okay.
And then we had Hamlin.
His Progressive car.
Who's driving for Progressive. I have Progressive insurance, and I'm gonna have to send them a message that if they don't quit sponsoring him, I'm dropping them for another company. That being said, it's the
Here's a better question. No, when you make the threat to them, you got to tell them who you're going to.
Oh, State Farm.
I also have Progressive, and I would also go to State Farm.
Yep, I'd go to State Farm.
I dealt with State Farm as I got hit, fucked up my truck, And the person that hit me had State Farm, and they were fantastic.
Yep. And I can, not giving too much insight, but I've dealt with insurance companies, and I will tell you that State Farm is the best out of the bunch. So that being said, we do have a sponsor battle for the first time, kind of in a long time. There have been minor sponsor battles, but it doesn't fucking matter. If you've got Cody wearing Chad Fincham, with Eminem and Skittles, nobody really gives a fuck, right? Like, oh, well, my driver finished 31st. And they're like, well, my driver finished 32nd. Like, nobody gives a fuck.
Well, I'll tell you what, we got to talk to Flo. I'll jump in Flo's DMs.
So what I'm trying to figure out here is, and I've already figured it out. What I'm trying to propose here is the best way for Freeway Insurance and Progressive to prove who is the better insurance company. Let's go to Daytona. Let's take Daniel Suarez in the Freeway car. Let's take Denny Hamlin in the Progressive car, and let's line them up about 50 yards from each other, facing each other at the start-finish line. Both full throttle, hit each other head on. Parts flying everywhere. The cars are junk. Hopefully, neither are hurt, but it is what it is.
I was about to say no Hans device. Never mind.
No seatbelts. That being said, what we do is we now have an insurance race. Which insurance company can fix the car faster? And with that, the car that they fixed then has to be raced the following week. So it's not just a matter of who gets it faster, but if you fix it faster and you ship them out next week to go run the next race and it blows up, that's a points deduction.
And here's how you make people see it. They do it in Crown Vics, and they got to get the car that they just had head-on collisions with ready for the Freedom 500.
I fuck with it. Fuck with it. We could have this. This could be a thing. We could have Suarez and Denny Hamlin with a broken neck. Not that I want that, but it's a possibility if you hit somebody head on, and that's just part of truck driving. You know what I mean?
Part of being loyal to your sponsor.
You being loyal to, sponsor loyalty is important. We value that here at Loose Lugnut Reactions. So that's really all.
And almost came out right there.
Yeah, fucking. I interviewed. I've been interviewed a few times for iRacing races, like ones that I've won. And
LLR.
The fucking there was one that the guy. So I had my entry sponsored by a guy, because he knew I do well, and I didn't realize he actually really sponsored it for me, nor did I realize that he was the announcer for the race. I had no clue. I just was like, hey, listen, you're paid into this shit. Go run it. Well, I win the first fucking race. And he's like, do you have any sponsors or shout outs? You can keep in mind, I don't take this shit seriously because ain't my motherfucker paying me, but this guy legit paid $30 fucking to let me into this league. So it was a legitimate sponsor. And I shouted out a bunch of random bullshit, and he goes, anybody else? And I was like, I think that about covers it.
Oh no!
The guy that's interviewing. I didn't know. I wasn't filled in. I just was. I was a fucking suitcase driver on the deal. He fucking got told to show up and run this shit, and my entry was paid, and I was all about it. And he clarified. He goes, "Well, I can't. Makes it even worse. I can't remember the name of the announcer, his whole thing, and his whole company. But he clarified that he was like, your entry was sponsored by so and so, and it was him. And I was like, oh fuck. So
that's a little awkward.
Yeah, it was extremely. It's still recorded. It's still on the internet somewhere. I'll find it. I'll show it to you. Yeah, it was terrible. Yeah, it was an ARCA series race. I won the Daytona race for the ARCA League.
Well, shit, we got Watkins Glen coming up. It's one of the it's a road course, but that's one I do like.
That's not next week? That's like a couple of weeks away, isn't it?
Is it not?
I think it's a couple of weeks away.
Hold on a minute. NASCAR.com schedule. Nope, we're headed to Watkins Glen, May 10th.
Are we really?
Yeah, then we got the All-Star race at Dover, then the
At
Charlotte.
Dover, and then Coke. Ooh.
Yep. Yeah, we
Okay.
got 600.
I was thinking. Hold on. I thought Glenn was going to be the weekend of Memorial Day. Is it? Wait, hold on. Is it Memorial Day?
We already passed it, didn't we?
No, it's coming
No?
up, isn't it? Yeah,
Wait.
the 25th.
Yeah, so
Oh,
the 600 is the 24.
Oh, it's going to be the Charlotte road course. The Charlotte road course is going to be
What?
No.
It ain't the road.
No,
No.
Charlotte. Well, no, here's what's fucked up is when I Googled it, it showed Charlotte Motor Speedway road course.
Oh yeah, I'm here on NASCAR.com. We got the Glen, we got Dover for the All-Star race. We got
And then we have the Coke 600. Yeah.
Then we got Nashville.
And that's the weekend of Memorial Day. All right. Fair enough.
Oh yeah, after that we got Michigan, then we go into that with Pocono, then we got the Navy base, Sonoma.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we get like 3 in a row between let's see, where is it? It's after Pocono, right?
that's 2 in a row. 2 in a row.
Coronado, Sonoma.
We thought it was Chicago. It's Chicago.
No, it's Chicagoland. Chicagoland, by the way, they should never bring back the Chicago street course. That right there is the shittiest fucking race I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, it's awful. It's awful.
It's fucking terrible. The track is boring. People just bounce off the wall and get stuck on the tires, and we wait 27 years to fucking get caught. Like, it's fucking terrible. And then they prop it up for FPD to win.
A street course race. I want to see it in Nashville.
I'm gonna choose a different fucking car.
I want to see.
I had to break it, dude. I'm gonna choose a different car, different discipline, different group of drivers. These motherfuckers are not cut out for street courses, and there weren't street courses when this shit was born. These are oval drivers. These drivers, if anything, fuck street courses. Take every street course and pick out a good fucking dirt race to put them in.
I'm saying, let them do a street race in Nashville at night, but we leave the little bike carts that the bridesmaids are all on out on the roads.
There you go. I'll tell you right now. Hear me out on this. We take the street courses and we throw in an Eldora race. We throw in a Knoxville race. And then I'm not sure if there are any other facilities on dirt that are big enough for to hold that. Bristol dirt, kind of gay. Don't want to see it again. I mean, you could do Bristol dirt.
You could.
But Eldora and Knoxville would be way fucking better. Knoxville, especially.
Bristol dirt. There's promise there. It's you gotta keep them from destroying the damn track. Cars are heavy. The cars are damn heavy. And they by the end, they destroy that track when they put the dirt out on it.
I think it's a matter of do less. High banking. No track. Like, prep the track pre-race. It's just like a dirt track. Like, that's what makes dirt racing so much fun is asphalt gets it to a degree, but dirt racing, these guys are fucking constantly searching around. You know, you see... Yeah. And that's why you see guys like Seabell and you see guys like Reddick and you see guys like Larson do so fucking well is because they know how to search around on asphalt. In dirt, that's the norm. You go into the corner, and if you come up off that corner, he beats you by a fucking half a car. You're going to go into the next corner, trying something different than you did the last time. You're going to go back into the 1 and 2 in this scenario. You're going to try something different again, and that's the fucking norm. And that's what makes them so fucking talented. That's why it's so exciting because in your average dirt race, even down to a local level, you'll see a guy be damn near straightaway ahead of second place with 5 to go. And that motherfucker behind him will go everywhere to see if he can catch him.
And sometimes a lot of the
times he will click on some shit with 5 to go. And it's not like he gets half a tenth faster. He gets like 4 tenths faster. So that straightaway lead disappears in a heartbeat. But these fucking NASCAR drivers can't fucking do it. These NASCAR drivers are terrified. You know, I'll move up and they'll move up. Fucking they're precise about it. They'll move up a quarter car length, but they won't fucking move up and see what's up top. And that's half of what we saw with Texas today that made it so fucking boring.
Well, it's the car's fault too.
It is.
I don't think it's the drivers
because the shear rate is so fucking bad.
Well, if they get buried, they don't have the power to come back.
It's not just because the problem is that too, because they come up off the corner with some motor, but the problem is the shear rate so high is that they're terrified to move up half a car and a half, because if they do, they might go from having enough grip to keep them on the ground to just being backwards. We saw it with Larson today. His spin is a very good example of not searching for speed per se, but how quickly you can be okay to backwards. You don't get up there and get a little loose and go, oh, that wasn't a fucking move, we'll go somewhere else. You get up there, and next thing you know, you're bass backwards, staring at the competition behind you. It's fucking crazy. It doesn't work. We need more sidewall to make it more forgiving, so we have more pushing and more predictability when we start to lean on these rights, especially the right rear. When the right rear starts to cup over and you can feel it, and you can feel it in the wheel, you can feel the car like, hey, I'm pissed off, and twist it up, and we don't get that in these new cars. They're so rigid, and with no sidewall, it's like having, you might as well have rubber strips on the wheels rather than fucking tires. It's insane. But that's all I had to say. You got anything else you got to say?
No.
I covered like 9 topics.
No, I believe that's it. Like I said, I hated I missed that O'Reilly race last night. It sounded like it was the one to watch this weekend, other than watching the host of our win the trucks. But yeah,
it was good races. Cup race sucked.
Yeah, it did.
Just call it for what it is.
There were a few sparks where it looked like it might get good, but it just never
developed.
Never developed anything.
Did
worth
we
watching.
see any battles today?
No, there's none.
Yeah. Answers no. Fucking terrible.
So I'm not a big fan of Texas. I'm really not. It's get clean air, go.
Yeah.
So it's just that's not fun to watch.
No, not at all.
Like I said, and we got the Glen coming up. As road courses go, that's as good as it gets. So next week could be fun. I'll go look at the roster and kind of make some predictions and see what I think will happen. But it'll be a handful of names. You'll have, obviously SVG. You could Zilich, Alex Bowman fits into that. We'll throw a few more in there. I'll kind of look around, but
Bowman did fit into that. I don't know if he does anymore. It's the SVG Reddick show at this point.
Yeah. Well, we're going to the Glen to get Zilich's.
Yeah. Record this for the VOD. I bet you Reddick starts hunting fucking SVG down on the straightaway of the Glen too.
Well, it is recorded, and we've seen it before this year. Just saying.
Yep, record it. I bet you coming off the corner, he will just fucking rip him down the straights.
I wonder how that happens.
Mm-hmm. That I'm out. We said what we needed to say.
We did. Yeah, chat. We will see y'all later.
Later.